Hey YouTube, Pat again. Hope the music's going well. I got another tutorial today to help you guys out. It's going to be with helping you find that perfect snare sound. Now the great thing about this tutorial, it's not limited to just your snare. It can also help you out with pretty much everything in your music. Let me go ahead and explain my configuration, what's going on here, so that way it makes sense, okay? So, as you guys might remember, I have the DHP kit that I created quite a few months ago towards the beginning of the year. Really liked the way it sounded. I enjoyed the project, so I decided I want to go ahead and make another sample pack. So what I decided to do is we recorded a crush kit, and this is the snare samples that we have from it. Now, I was enjoying the sound that I was getting from it, but it still didn't have the impact and the sound that was similar to the DHP kit. So what I needed was some inspiration, or I needed a reference in order to know how to get to that similar sound. So let me explain what I got going on here. I have the snare track, the overhead, and the room. All of them are being sent into this bounce track, okay? Because what I'm going to end up doing is when I like the sound, I want to go ahead and record the finalized sound all together as one track. That's what these are, but they're muted. So I only muted them just for the example of this video. Alright. I also have some reverb going on that I added to it to give it a little bit more of a spacious sound. Okay. And I have the track arm, so that way when I press play, you're going to be able to hear what's going on. Now down here, this other track are going to be the snare samples that I liked from my other kit, the DHP kit. Alright. So now what I'm going to end up doing is this. On the bounce track and also on the snare track, the DHP track, I have this PAZ frequency. So let me go ahead and clear this so that way you can just see what I'm doing from the start. This is going to be the plugin for the DHP kit, and then this one is going to be the plugin for the my current kit that I'm working on right now. Okay, so essentially what this plugin does, and there's not just this plugin, there's other plugins like this that just essentially analyze the frequency spectrum of whatever it is that you're playing through it. Okay, so I want to go ahead and see what the characteristics of that DHP snare is against the characteristics of the frequency spectrum of the other kit. So what's going to happen is when I press play now, let me go ahead and get this ready. When I press play, this one's going to be getting this snare's information, and this one's going to be getting this snare's information. And then I can go ahead and look in comparison what changes I need to be doing to this snare with some EQ to get it to sound the way I want it to sound. Now, what's going to happen is that I have the DHP muted, but the plugin's going to be still doing what it needs to do. And then you're going to be hearing the snare that I'm working on now, but with no EQ, just the way it is what I have so far. So let's go ahead and hear what that sounds like. Alright, now the great thing is about this plugin in particular, it goes ahead and freezes the information, so that way I can go ahead and look at it as long as I want, and then I can see the differences between those two snares. So as you can see here with the DHP kit, the low end is a little bit higher, going from about, I want to say 20 to a little bit past 125, but then there's a dip that's a little bit more significant in this one at around 250, where over here it's kind of the same. So already that's enough information for us to know that we need to boost up here and cut down here. Now let's keep looking at what we got. Now we see here on the DHP kit that we have kind of a boost, or the information's a little bit higher from that, I want to say 1,000 plus up, going up higher. And then over here, not so much. So just to remember, I went ahead and opened up TextEdit, and I kind of wrote this information down. I put just 1,000 to 1,500, but really I kind of boosted everything in certain spots just to whatever made it sound better. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead, close these. I have the EQ here in which I made all those different alterations. So when I press play, you're going to hear the snare how it sounds like with the EQ. And then after it runs through 8 times, I'm going to go ahead and disable it while it's still playing so you can hear the difference back and forth, all right? So here we go. This is with the EQ now added to this snare. Alright, that's enough of that, but now you can definitely hear the difference between all of those. So you can see why this is such an effective technique. Now I will say this, some people might consider this cheating. Here's the thing, it's music. Have fun with what you're doing. If there's a certain sound that you're going for and you're having trouble finding it or you're still learning, this is an excellent way to learn what you can do or what you should be doing on your future track. So consider it an aid, as it just aided me here with helping me find that sound that I needed for this track. So now, like I said, this isn't limited to just your snare. Take this same technique and now apply it to all the rest of the shells in your drum kit, or do it for a guitar sound or a bass sound or even vocals. As long as you have some piece of isolated information of whatever you're trying to for a sound that you're trying to go for, like a guitar or again snare, drums, whatever, you can go ahead and take this and put it up against the sounds of your drums. So you can even do this with a whole drum kit. Let's say you have your drum kit against another one's. You can go ahead and use these two different plugins and see what alterations you can make to make your drum kit be in a similar ballpark tonally. So of course it might work a little bit better to start individually with each individual shell so you have a little bit more control, but you get the idea. So anyways, that's this video. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Hope this helps you guys out, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Until then, keep having fun with your music, and see you at the next video.